All right. Good evening, everyone. I am Nicole Robinson coming at you with another episode of Meet the Mustangs. And tonight we have the privilege of talking to Kwon Simeus, number 25 of the Connecticut Mustangs. So, how are you doing tonight, Raekwon?
I'm good. How you doing?
Pretty good, just hanging in there. Before I get into any of the football talk, I want to ask you, how are you handling yourself during this pandemic? Because, this is a really crazy time for everybody right now.
Um, it's just real boring. I still work, but it's just but outside of work, it's just boring.
What do you do for work, if you don't mind me asking?
I work at a hospital doing
Oh, so
ambassador services.
okay, so you're like you never stopped working. Wow, that's crazy. How about you just start with telling me a little bit about where you're from, how you grew up, your childhood, some of the things that you liked to do when you were a child.
um, I'm I'm originally from Florida, South Florida, Palm Beach area, Broward area. Uh, I grew up playing foot. Like that's the first thing I remember doing when I went outside was playing football, like playing in the street. Florida. That's like Florida. The football is the main sport in Florida, so
Yeah.
that's all I've really done. I started playing football around first grade.
Wow.
Um, I grew up. I'm Haitian. Well, my father's Haitian, so half of my family's from Haiti, and I'm half American also. So I grew up around a lot of people from the islands and stuff. Um, I moved to Connecticut maybe in seventh grade,
Okay.
and I've been staying up here ever since.
Okay. So just knowing a little bit about what I know, about like the Haitian culture, because my son actually is half Haitian, and his family that was from Haiti were really big soccer players.
Yeah,
Um,
my dad taught me how to play soccer. I
okay,
never really played on a team, but he was big on soccer.
so what made you choose football over soccer? Because although Florida is big in football, it seems like your family was big in soccer. So what made you choose football?
I mean, playing outside, it started. I never really like. I didn't start on a team. You know, in first grade is when I actually joined one of those pee wee leagues. But
Okay.
before that, just being outside, we used to. Everybody was playing football. It was only a small group of people playing soccer, but everybody was big on football.
So it was just something like, you know what? I'm
Yeah,
just
all
gonna
my
join in
friends.
with, yeah, I
Yeah,
hear you. That's good. And you said you came up here about seventh grade, correct?
yeah, seventh.
Seventh grade. So what high school did you attend in? And whatever high school you attended, did you play football there? Like for the high school team?
I went to River Cross. I played football for 1 year, but I didn't. I wasn't. Didn't really like the whole program, so I stopped.
Okay. Okay. Did you go to college and play any sports in college?
No, I didn't play any sports in college.
Okay. So it seems like you took a little bit of time off from playing sports. What made you want to come back to play football and like do the semi-pro league with the Mustangs?
I and like the last couple years, I've been playing football, just not in a like I didn't play for a college, but I
Okay.
played in a league in Florida.
Okay.
So I played there for a season, and then I moved down there for a little bit, but when I came back up, one of my friends told me about the Mustangs, so that's when I started looking into that.
Okay. So what made you play in the league in Florida? Is it just something that
Um,
you since you've loved it as a child, is it something that you said, you know what, even though I didn't like the atmosphere in high school, you knew that you would always go back? Is that something that you knew you always wanted to go back to, or it just kind of fell into your lap?
yeah, definitely. I like being active and things like that, and I've always been good at football. I've never really been like, bad. Like it wasn't like when I played, I was just, I've been actually good player. So when I went to Florida, it's very competitive, and like I said, a lot of my friends and my family members play football, and they was like, oh, you should play, things like that. So I played a little bit.
Okay. What position do you play for the team?
I played. Well, don't have an actual like on the Mustangs. I don't have an actual position yet, but I play defensive end, linebacker, and running back.
Oh, okay. So running back. That means you're quick, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay. All right. So, about how fast would you say you are if you can, like, off the top of your head, like, you know how people say, "Oh, I can run, um, 450
Oh,
something." You know what I mean? Something like that.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I I did a 40. I did a 40. I did a 40 in March. I ran a 40, and it was a 4.7 something. I don't remember the exact number that came after the seven. It
Wow.
wasn't too. It wasn't the fastest, but it wasn't slow.
Well, that's a lot faster than what I could do. So I'm gonna tell you that right now. So exactly, so since you're a running back, just what I kind of know off the top of my head, running backs are not really like that big, right? Like how big and tall are you?
Oh, I'm 5'9.5". I weigh two because of the coronavirus. I put on a little bit of weight. My natural weight is 200, between 190 and 200, but right now I'm about 215.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, playing sports and everything, I'm sure you'll probably drop that once you guys get
yeah,
back on the
definitely.
field quick. So that's good. So this will be your first year playing with the Mustangs, correct?
Yes.
Like your first official season. So how long do you see yourself how long do you see giving yourself like to play with the team? Is it something that you're gonna say I want to do for 5 or 6 years, or is it something that you're gonna say I'm gonna listen to my body, and whenever my body decides that it wants to stop, that's when I'm gonna stop?
Yeah, I mean, I plan on playing football as long as I can. I don't want to, push it, but I plan on playing for the next 6, 7 years.
Okay. And how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
I just turned 22 yesterday.
Oh, okay. Oh, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
And okay, yeah, so you probably have yeah, about 6 or 7 years left in you because
Mhm.
you're still fairly young. So, you can take the hits and keep it
Mhm.
moving better than the other guys. So yeah, that's something that you have on your side right now. So besides for the love of the game, because clearly, starting to play football in first grade, you have to love it by now. What do you wish to get out of playing with the Mustangs?
It's for me. It's like therapeutic. Football has always been something that I don't know. I really like have a passion for it. So it's not. I'm not playing like I don't want to go play for the NFL or anything like that. It's really something. It's like personal for me.
Okay, that's good. That's interesting. I've done a few other interviews, and a lot of people pretty much say the same thing, like it's like the passion, the brotherhood, the family and stuff. It's like a great outlet. It's a
Hmm.
great way to stay out of trouble. So that's, it's really a good thing to see, like, positive young minority role models doing something that these young boys can look up to and say, hey, I want to do that. And it's always something like you can always give back to your community with that, because you can teach them about, being a great athlete and putting your all into it and stuff. So that's really good. That's something that we need more of, like more positive male role models out here, because some of these kids really do need it.
Hmm.
So besides football, what else occupies your time? Now, I'm gonna assume because you just turned 22 that you're not married. There's no kids. But what else, like besides going to work and playing football, what else do you do with your time?
I go to well when the gym was open, I used to go to the gym every day. So
Wow.
that was basically my day is working the gym.
Ooh.
Um, I like motorcycles. I ride motorcycles sometimes. That's about it. Football and just being active.
I see. So, um, well, what's next for you after life with the Mustangs? I mean, I know since you said you want to do it for at least another 6 or 7 years, that's kind of like a long time from now. But time kind of creeps up on you. So, like,
Hmm.
do you have any plans? Like, what you want to do when your time with the Mustangs is done?
Um, uh, I haven't really thought that far. I mean, in life, I right now I'm working on going to the National Guard, so I want to do that,
Oh, okay.
and I want to do that. Probably retire from there, because they have a set time limits and stuff, and I wanna start my own security company.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So how do you think your your going to the National Guard will affect football? Because I'm not too familiar with the National Guard. If that's one, I know like they do the 1 week in a month, but I'm not sure if you actually have
Mhm.
to go away anywhere with the National Guard. So how would that affect you playing football if you do the National Guard?
Um, you gotta go to basic training. That's maybe 3 or 4 months. But it depends on if you catch it at a certain time, you could do it during the off season. But yeah, they have the 1 week in a month and then 1 month out of a year. But it's not far. So the National Guard bases, they have them everywhere. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay, so you can probably just go back and forth between it, especially
Mhm.
like I said, because you're young, so you can you can still run around and not be as tired as everybody else and do what you have to do. So that's really good. That's really good. So before we close this out, is there anything else that you'd like to add? Like anything that you want people that see this interview to know about Kwon Simeus?
Mm, I'm not really a complex person.
You just simple. Just
Yeah.
you are who you are.
Mhm. Exactly.
Well, that's good. That's good. So I will just say thank you for taking the time out. Once again, thank you for moving up the time for me at
No
the last
problem.
minute. And this concludes another episode of Meet the Mustangs with Raekwon Simeus, number 25 of the Connecticut Mustangs.